Daily Bible Time, Dominic Steele. It is Friday morning and we're in Isaiah 19 today. I'm looking forward to seeing you at Village Church on Sunday for Exodus 19:20, the Ten Commandments. Yesterday we looked at Isaiah 18. That gave us a context for this chapter. The prophet Isaiah is still speaking about the neighboring nations around Judah and around Israel that Jerusalem, Judah might be tempted to turn to protect them from the great looming military threat of Assyria. Today the message is similar, but our focus has switched to Egypt, and the message to Jerusalem is don't look for security from Egypt, because in the end Egypt is going to need to turn and look to Israel's God for security. Let me read, and there are three key weaknesses of Egypt that we're going to focus on today. First weakness is Egypt's religion. Isaiah 19 verse 1, a pronouncement concerning Egypt. Look, the Lord rides on a swift cloud and is coming to Egypt. Egypt's worthless idols will tremble before him, and Egypt will lose heart. I'll provoke Egyptians against Egyptians. Each will fight against his brother, and each against his friend, city against city, kingdom against kingdom. Egypt's spirit will be disturbed by it, and I'll frustrate its plans. They will inquire of worthless idols, ghosts, mediums, and spiritists. I'll hand over Egypt to harsh masters. A strong king will rule it. This is the declaration of the Lord God of armies. First weakness of Egypt, her religion. The religion of Egypt, polytheistic, idolatrous, and as the commentator Barry Webb points out, it's got a natural reflex of social fragmentation. It can't unite the nation, and a nation without unity cannot endure. First weakness, religion. Second weakness, Egypt's total dependence on the Nile River. Verse 5 of Isaiah 19. The water of the sea will dry up, the river will be parched and dry, the channels will stink, they'll dwindle, and Egypt's canals will be parched. Reed and rush will wilt, the reeds by the Nile, by the mouth of the river, and all the cultivated areas of the Nile will wither, blow away, and vanish. The fishermen will mourn, all who cast hooks into the Nile will lament, those who spread nets on the water will give up, those who work with flax will be dismayed, those combing it and weaving linen will turn pale. Egypt's weavers will be dejected, her wage earners demoralized. Second weakness, the prophet highlights dependence on the Nile. The Nile was Egypt's lifeline. Without the Nile, if the Nile failed, Egypt fails. The Nile, as Barry Webb says, the encroaching desert will swamp Egypt, turn it into a wasteland without the Nile. First weakness, religion. Second weakness, dependence on the Nile. Third weakness, false wisdom. Verse 11 of Isaiah 19. The princes of Zoan are complete fools. Pharaoh's wisest advisors give stupid advice. How can you say to Pharaoh, I'm one of the wise, a student of the eastern kings? Where then are your wise men? Let them tell you and reveal what the Lord of armies has planned against Egypt. If you were a wise man in Egypt and you actually were genuinely wise, then you'd want to be warning them that the God of Israel, the Lord of armies, has a plan against you. But the princes of Zoan have been fools, verse 13. The princes of Memphis are deceived. Her tribal chieftains have led Egypt astray. The Lord has mixed within her a spirit of confusion. The leaders have made Egypt stagger in all she does, as a drunkard staggers in its vomit. No head or tail, palm or reed will be able to do anything for Egypt. On that day, Egypt will be like a woman and will tremble with fear because of the threatening hand of the Lord of armies when he raises it against them. Don't trust the wise ones of Egypt. They lack any understanding of the Lord's plans. Egypt and Pharaohs will be staggering in the dark. Now, Barry Webb reminds us that behind this passage lies the memory of the Exodus, when the Lord exposed the powerlessness of Egypt's gods and the emptiness of her wisdom and the vulnerability of her lifeline. But I read Isaiah 19 and I think, wow, it is almost describing Western society at the moment. The failure of the religion of the West, the turning to the occult, the New Age, the necromancers. But then a nation without unity cannot survive. And these prophets, the prophets of the nation, who does Australia listen to at the moment? Comedians. And Pharaoh's wisest advisors give stupid advice, and without unity, the nation can't prosper. This is this word against Egypt, all those years ago in the time of Isaiah, is a word that is just as applicable to the folly of Western society at the moment. Now, where to next? Where does salvation lie? Well, that's Monday on Daily Bible Time in the back part of Isaiah 19. I will look forward to your company then. God bless.